world and beyond. Space, in partnership with the European Space Agency.
One evening I was in a presentation in a little town in the center of Italy, and it was an open. We were outside. It was summer evening. You know, Italians like to be out in summer. And I just looked up, and I could not believe the space station was just right there passing by. So there were these 300 people sitting, and I said, there it is. And so everybody looked up, and we were looking at this. You know, it's flying very fast, and we looked at it for 30 seconds, 40 seconds, and it disappeared. What that meant to people, I don't know, for me it meant, hey, this is the place where I will be working there. But I think a lot of people were able to touch with their hand something that, you know, they see in pictures as far away, but suddenly it's right there.
Every 92 minutes, the most complex engineering project mankind has ever undertaken flies overhead. Like a shooting star, it can be seen at dawn and dusk with the naked eye. It's the International Space Station, or the ISS, a vast structure floating 400 kilometers above Earth. The European astronaut Paolo Nespoli knows it very well. In 2007, he stayed there for 11 days, and this year he'll be back for 6 months.
The International Space Station is there because there you can find, or we can find, some kind of environmental conditions that we cannot have on Earth. And this condition, for example, microgravity, allow us to conduct a series of experiments that would be impossible to do on Earth.
And that's why the International Space Station was designed as a multi-purpose laboratory with room for all sciences.
And we can imagine there's a lot going on the flight deck between coordinating the pilot is doing and trying to get...
We can do a wide variety of research disciplines ranging from biology, physiology, through material science, fluid physics, and also space physics outside.
The exterior of the ISS provides the perfect platform to carry out specific experiments about the effects of cosmic rays, even if there are organisms that could survive in space. The ISS is dedicated to research, even the astronauts themselves. Each member of the crew is a living experiment. The orbital trip reveals new information to fight the effects of aging in organisms and get humans ready for long space trips in the future. Scientists high up are also searching for answers to questions that have been asked for years, from physics theories to fighting cancer. They're experiments that help mankind know more about the world and mankind itself.
In biology, you need to look into cell behavior, through the cell membranes, how cells behave under certain environmental conditions like radiation, like microgravity, and there you can really look into the very details, and it tells you a lot about the human body.
It all began in 1998 with the launch of the Russian module Zarya, the first of 16 units and other components that make up the ISS. All of them were delivered by the American Space Shuttle, the Russian rockets Proton and Soyuz, and more recently the European Ariane 5. In May last year, the crew grew from 3 to 6 astronauts, meaning the station became fully operational.
We have really much more crew time. We have the permanent 6 crew on orbit. So far, the utilization resources get steady, not fluctuating anymore, and we have much more utilization yield through more experiments.
T-minus 16 seconds, the sound suppression water system has been activated.
On the 8th of February, 2 new European elements were sent to the ISS.
8, 7, 6. There.
The module Tranquility, also known as Node 3, and the Cupola, a state-of-the-art structure with 7 windows that will help in observing the Earth.
Let's jump back on.
On this flight we have these two very important modules, the Node 3 and Cupola, and also during these very days we had a lot of meetings with NASA in preparation for ISS extension, for preparing also for additional possible missions for European astronauts. And the spirit, the team spirit, you perceive that day by day, minute by minute, is really becoming a family. It's not only a professional cooperation because you have to run the space station, but it's becoming really a family, so it's fantastic.
A total of 16 countries have made the ISS not only a lab for scientific experiments, but also a test bed for human relationships and international cooperation.
This project is too complex, too expensive, too daring for one nation to tackle. And it makes sense that we as humanity work together to achieve these higher common goals.
Spacewalkers, Bob Behnken on the left and Nicholas Patrick on the right.
The International Space Station is the size of a football pitch, and inside the living quarters measure like a spacious urban apartment. Now, thanks to Tranquility and Cupola, the station is nearly complete, and more than a third of the pressurized elements have been designed and built in Europe. Originally, the ISS project was only supposed to run until 2015, but the international partners have decided to keep it in service longer.
It seemed not really smart to take an object that it costs so much and is now start giving fruits to shut it down in just 5 years. And I think the international community has wisely decided to put all the resources and the capability and maintain the station at least until 2020.
4 centuries after Galileo saw the cosmos through his telescope, space has proved an irresistible subject for exploration. In more recent times, it was Sputnik, the first satellite orbiting Earth, that started the space race. Yuri Gagarin was the first man in space.
To achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the
And
Earth.
Apollo 11 put man on the moon for the first time.
Forward, drift into the right level.
The latest milestone of this odyssey is the International Space Station.
Contact light.
The importance of the International Space Station is not only for the scientists around the world that can use this exceptional or unique laboratory, but also for the everyday person. Historically, we have seen that the people that explored, they were curious, that dared to do things, sometimes died, sometimes had problems, but most of the time find out new things, met new people, learn new way of doing things, find new materials, new plants, new animals. And this were immediately taken and enlarged their knowledge, know-how, capabilities, and eventually make them better.